Welcome to Easy 3 Sport Production. I'm your host, Suttles, and before we get started, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that sub button. Make sure you click that like, and be sure to leave your comments in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts on this next subject. So without further ado, let's get it. The New York Giants have made multiple moves. Schoen, his era has begun, and it's gotten off to a pretty damn good blast, especially the moves and the free agencies and the reconstructions that he's been doing. We're going to go through all of that in this video, and then I'm also going to talk about who we're going to be leaning towards the draft, because I think our recent signings has definitely told us where we're going to be aiming for that 5th and that 7th pick. But just to get started, the Schoen era has officially begun. He has been making move after move after move. He has reconstructed Blake Martinez, the contract. He reconstructed Sterling Shepard's contract. Be expected within the next few days that James Bradbury will most likely be traded, most likely to the Raiders for around like a 4th or 5th round pick. There's nothing that's coming out that's actually said that this is going to happen, but I think that's where they're going to lean towards, especially since that's where Patrick Graham has gone. For the free agencies, he has been on a roll. He has been getting some mid-tier offensive linemen for some good team-friendly contracts. John Filippo, Mike Krzyzewski, and he just recently signed Ricky Seals-Jones, the tight end coming from the Washington football team. And this is really going to help out overall on the offensive line, because now you really got a center, you got a guard who will be starting, and we got Andrew Thomas. So now my eyes, from me, is a little bit open on where we're going to be leaning towards in the draft. Now, these guys are not here, they're not going to be here for like 10 to 15 years or anything of that nature, but they are on 1 and 2, 3 year contracts to make sure that within this short span we have at least an average offensive line. And I'm telling you right now, as a Giants fan, if we have an average offensive line, it will look amazing. I mean, Saquon Barkley will finally have some holes. Daniel Jones will have some time. He still has to make the right decisions with the ball. But at the end of the day, just an average offensive line is really what us Giants fans are asking for. And I'm not expecting us to be good this upcoming season. I'm not going to put my hopes up at the sky and then just fall the way that we did last year. I am not expecting that. But what I am expecting is the building blocks to get to where we want to be within the next 3 to 5 years. And I see that that's what Schoen is doing. He is making some good team-friendly contracts. He's not overspending. He was able to get us out of the negative, get us into the positive, and actually be able to sign some free agents. And later down the line, we're going to see who else is going to be left on this free agent market towards the end of it, going more towards the draft, and seeing if we could pick up some cheap contracts that way. Now, when it comes to the draft, I believe that this actually tells what we're going to be leaning towards. We was always thinking that we're going to go offensive line, which in particular, that's what everybody has us mocked, because they know that that's one of our biggest issues. But now it's focused on that right tackle position. And there's three guys that I believe that is going to be, one of these guys is going to be a New York Giant, and that is going to be Ekwonu, that is going to be Charles Cross, and that will be Evan Neal. Now, if y'all seen my last about my last video and everything, when I was talking about Evan Neal, I do not like his technique. He is too much of a boom or bust product. I've always said he has the highest upside in this draft, but he has the lowest floor. My problem with Evan Neal was at that time, we do not have a good offensive line. Now, we really don't know what exactly these free agents coming for our offensive line is going to do, but on paper, we look at least average. I would be happy to take Evan Neal in this kind of situation, because if we're average without him, then we're just average without him. But if he booms, that's going to be an all-pro type player that can possibly put this offensive line up into the top 10 echelon. But if he busts, we still got some swing tackles and everything that will take his place, and we can still move forward with being an average offensive line. So in this situation, I am open to getting Evan Neal. I still think he has a bunch of technical problems, but he does have a very high upside. You've seen my videos on Charles Cross. I like him. I really do. He's a real smooth operator. And Ekwonu is just one of the nastiest offensive linemen in the country. And that's who you want on that right tackle position. But I believe that those will be the three that we will be targeting in this upcoming draft. Now, there's been a lot of talk as one of my favorite guys, Kayvon Thibodeaux, may just drop down to the Giants. I feel like if he drops down to 5 and 2 of these offensive tackles are still on the board, I say you go ahead and you take Kayvon, and then you take the tackle which is going to be left at 7, or it's going to be a lot of trade down options. But those are the 3 tackles that we need to at least get out of one of those 2 picks. If anybody drops, then that would just be a blessing for us. But at the end of the day, that right tackle position can really solidify what can go right in this season and what can go wrong in this season. If we pick bad, our offensive line is not going to be looking good at all. Daniel Jones is still going to have those problems. Saquon Barkley still will be looking very uncertain running through these holes. And we're kind of going to be not at square one, but it's going to be a real big rebuilding phase going into next year. But we need to hit on this right tackle. We have 3 picks. We have the number 5, the number 7, and the number 36 pick. Those 3 picks have to be home runs. Simple as that. They have to be home runs so that we can feel confident as a fan base moving forward that, hey, Joe Schoen knows what he's doing, and we feel confident that in the next 2 to 3 years we will be competing for the playoffs, and potentially in the next 3 to 5, we'll be competing for a Super Bowl. But I want to hear what y'all have to say about it. Leave your comments in the comment section.